You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
NIU students will get a taste of Texas instead of fast food, and the demolition of Evergreen Village Mobile Park has begun. Good evening, I'm Mitchell Brinkman.
And I'm Keisha Howerth. Thanks for joining us. Evergreen Village Mobile Home Park will be converted to open space soon. County leaders bought all but one of the 121 mobile homes in the flood-prone area. About 12 of the units have been demolished, which were tested for asbestos. This comes years after a $7 million in-state and federal grants to buy the property. The money includes helping residents relocate. DeKalb has until June 13th to make the open space available.
Switching gears from Sycamore to DeKalb, a new smoking ban in effect has some bar owners concerned about their customers flaming up. Josh Exton has the story on how a business in DeKalb is dealing with the ban.
It's an easy way to take a load off. Take a light and take it easy. Not so much anymore with the recent smoking ordinance passed late August in DeKalb. Now smoking in the wrong place could be a high price to pay, hundreds of dollars even. The ordinance could negatively affect the many restaurants and bars, like the ones downtown, and Dave Jacobson is well aware of the impact of the ban on DeKalb businesses.
Our biggest tax in DeKalb is our restaurant and bar tax, and we need every penny of tax money coming in right now. So to even risk hurting those business owners, to even risk lowering that tax collection on the city side, I think is a bad move in the economy we're in right now.
Mr. Jacobson voted against the ban but couldn't do enough to convince the other policymakers to do the same, and businesses have to deal with the reality regardless. I'm being taken out onto the patio of O'Leary's restaurant, empty and quiet that day, and possibly more so now that smokers have to stay away, about 15 feet away from any public patio, which could leave you in the middle of the street. His business is tough to run in downtown DeKalb and doesn't receive as much traffic as other high-traffic areas, like Sycamore Road. And it doesn't get any easier when you think city policymakers are out of touch.
We've got people up there making decisions for bars and restaurants, and they are so detached from the reality of each of the businesses.
And Mel could very well see losses in revenue. However, studies have shown that city and state bans generally have no effect on business revenue and could have positive turnover. Mel sees the possibility, but not when he invested $12,000 plus additional fees into his patio. Some restaurants and bars don't have patios and aren't affected. Mel says that's only when business owners all have a fair shake that the ban could be justified.
It's not a level playing field if you're instituting in a small town, and this certainly is a small town, or driving people to other businesses in surrounding communities, and that's, just adds more financial distress.
And with the state considering a smoking ban on colleges and universities, you might not be seeing much smoke at NIU either. I'm Josh Exton reporting for NTC News.
The city cites that the dangers of secondhand smoke as the primary reason why the ban was passed.
The DeKalb Fire Department is still investigating a fire inside an NIU building. The DeKalb Fire Department responded to a fire alarm at Watson Hall around noontime on Monday. Firefighters saw heavy smoke coming from a restroom inside the building. According to officials, the fire was put out within 5 minutes. Watson Hall was closed for a few hours while firefighters were clearing out the smoke. The fire caused around $1,200 in damage.
A local bakery is now recovering from fire damage to its establishment. Last year, Merleau Bakery had a fire that caused about $75,000 in damage. Prior to the fire, the bakery had only been open for a month. The cause of the fire still hasn't been found. The bakery will serve Hispanic pastries like flan and churros, but pastry lovers are going to have to wait for Merleau's Bakery in DeKalb to open back up. There is currently no open date.
Tommy O's is closing their doors for the last time. The family restaurant has been in business since 1948. Owners Camille and Tommy Asanowski found out last week that the owner of the building was selling the property. The Asanowskis have owned the Sycamore restaurant since 2008. They plan to retire after the restaurant closes. This is the third restaurant they have owned.
As the saying goes, when one door closes, another one opens. This time, it's a new sit-down restaurant for DeKalb residents to enjoy. On October 13th, Texas Roadhouse will be added to the list of very few sit-down restaurants in the DeKalb area. The area is home to many fast food restaurants, and the opening of Texas Roadhouse will give a lot back to the community. Texas Roadhouse is also benefiting the students with the amount of jobs it's creating. Although many are still filled, they are still taking applications for both part-time and full-time. The restaurant is on DeKalb Avenue in Sycamore.
DeKalb County has seen another first, and it comes in a glass.
NTC reporter Kyle Jacobson shows us how two college buddies are bringing craft beer to the area.
Andrew Nordman and Brian Magica are building shelves for their steampunk-themed tap room at Cadmium Brewing Company in Genoa. All the renovations they have done themselves. From the shelving to the custom-built bar top. And keeping with the steampunk theme, they wanted to interweave metals into their presentation.
So why don't we bring the copper into the tap room and use accents where possible. Plus, stainless steel is a little too shiny in the front. I want something that's got a little bit more personal touch, I think.
The stainless steel comes in this series of 2-barrel-sized brewing tanks. Those, in combination with these plastic drums, will give Andrew the capacity to start brewing enough beer for opening. But construction continues because they have to wait for the last of their 16 licenses and permits.
It's jokingly called the meat grinder because it's so many different steps and a lot of red tape. No one really wants to talk to you until somebody else is done, and there isn't a whole lot of insight into how everything should be set up.
And they still have a long way to go to get the tap room and brewing area ready. But Andrew soldiers on, still holding down a programming job. He works from this little nook here in the back. But none of these hurdles have deterred him.
I will not stop until I've served the first pint. And then we'll see how long I can last after that.
But until then, Andrew takes a moment to sample some of his own home-brewed beer and then continue on towards that first pint. From Genoa, I'm Kyle Jacobs, NTC News.
Andrew and Brian say they expect to open in November.
Hopefully it won't be feeling like November anytime soon, but let's find out from our own weather team.
Brittany Merleau is here now to hopefully tell us what we have a few more warm days coming.
Well, it is October, so those warm days are far and few between. But let's take a look at tomorrow because we are going to see those wonderful temperatures around. We're going to see mid to upper 70s all across the area, but take a look at that. Rain and lightning and all of that is going to push into our area today and tomorrow night and everything. So stay with us. You're watching NTC News Tonight.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Welcome back, everyone. Today was absolutely beautiful. We saw sunny skies and we reached a high of 71 degrees, which is amazing for today. And tonight we're expected to see a low of 59 degrees. Look at this. That is about 15 degrees above our average temperature for our low. So open those windows up tonight. Enjoy the night because it's not going to be here too much longer. Here's that sunny sky that we saw today over DeKalb area, which allowed us to warm up to that 71 degrees and is going to keep us warm through tonight. Look at off to the west what we have. We have some rain pushing in towards us. Now that is going to be here about midnight tonight. It's going to push into our area. We're going to see light rain at first, and it's going to turn more widespread as we go later on into Thursday. When you wake up in the morning for work, school, wherever you're going, expect rain. It's going to be all over. And that's going to continue until Thursday night, 5 p.m., same thing. We're going to see it add. There's going to be more rain off to the west. It's going to be pushing through to our area. Thursday night, 11 p.m., we have a possibility for severe storms as well. Now, as we take us into later in the week, what's going to happen is that rain is going to push off to the east, and as it does, this jet stream is going to dip down, and we're going to see this chilly, cold air from the north push into our area. That's going to be here about Friday. As you can see, it's going to be by us Friday, and we're going to see temperatures as low as 49 degrees for our high. Yes, 49 degrees for our high on Friday. Let's get ready for that cold. But let's keep it here. Tonight, 58 degrees we're going to see. Mostly cloudy skies. As those clouds roll in, we're going to see the rain start around midnight tonight. Now tomorrow, the rain is going to wake up. You're going to see more rain all throughout the day. We might have a little bit of clearing during the day where some sun is going to pop out, but it won't stay there too long as more widespread severe storms push into our area. For tomorrow, we're going to see a high of 73. Tomorrow night, low of 54. Thunderstorms are going to continue. A few of them may be severe. And as we move into my 7-day forecast, here we are, those storms, 73. As we move into the weekend, those temperatures are going to drop to a high of 58, 49 as our high. Our low is going to be 37. These are some of the coldest temperatures we've seen so far this season. And as we move on to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, temperatures are going to start to go back up into the 69 degrees. Now that's it for weather. Everyone enjoy your week. Let's send it back to the desk.
A former SIU student is in court after threats of bombing, rape, and murder.
And while a white woman is suing a clinic that gave her a black man's sperm, let's take a look at today's state lines.
Federal court documents revealed that a Chicago man sent a series of letters claiming he was going to bomb buildings at Southern Illinois University at Carbondale. Investigators say Derek Burns, a former student, threatened to shoot staff and rape, kill, and decapitate students if he didn't receive $50 million.
A white Ohio woman is suing a Downers Grove-based sperm bank, alleging the company mistakenly gave her vials from an African-American donor. She says the mistake has made it difficult for her and her same-sex partner to raise their now 2-year-old daughter in an all-white community.
An Illinois prison warden has abruptly retired after fallout from an investigation into her relationship with a convicted sex offender who has been living in her house. Nedra Chandler was the warden of the Dixon Correctional Facility Center southwest of DeKalb.
Beginning today, the Illinois Tollway will offer discounts on iPass transponders. The agency is lowering transponder prices from $60 to $30 for new iPass accounts and also lowering renewal fees for customers who register before the end of the year. And that's what's happening in today's state lines.
Turkey may soon join the fight against the Islamic State.
And here at home, doctors are dealing with the first case of the Ebola virus on American soil. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch.
ISIS is closing in on this key Syrian border town of Kobane. Despite the biggest day of airstrikes against the group, the Pentagon says the U.S.-led coalition launched 28 air raids in Iraq and Syria over the past 2 days. It's the first time British warplanes have joined the offensive over Iraq and Turkey. Turkey's parliament could soon decide to send its own ground troops into Iraq and Syria.
A patient with the first case of Ebola diagnosed in the United States is now in isolation at a hospital in Dallas, and health officials are trying to keep the public calm as they track down anyone else who may have been exposed. The man who contracted the virus flew from Liberia to the United States last month. but federal health officials say the people on his flight are not at risk. The patient has been isolated at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, and the CDC checks to see if he might have infected anyone when he was showing symptoms.
The director of the Secret Service is getting heat for security lapse around the president. Last month, a man armed with a knife ran into what is supposed to be the most rail-protected home on the planet, the White House. Now lawmakers are demanding to know how the man got so far into the White House. Secret Service Director Julia Pearson called the incident unacceptable, but some congressmen are calling for her registration.
Today is National Day, a day for all Chinese to celebrate the People's Republic of China. But that did not keep thousands of demonstrators from occupying the streets of Hong Kong again. Pro-democracy protesters occupied parts of the Asian business hub, not to celebrate the central government in Beijing, but to denounce and challenge it. They're calling for the local chief executive's resignation. And that's today's World Watch.
Playoff baseball has officially begun with a bang. Hi everyone, I'm Brett Tudela. The wild card round is a one-game winner-take-all playoff, but nobody said that the Royals and A's had to only play 9 innings. It's the first playoff game for the Royals since the 1985 World Series, and if my math is correct, that's 29 years. Aces James Shields and John Lester were the starting pitchers for KC in Oakland. With 2 outs in the first, the A's Brandon Moss takes a Shields pitch and blasts it way over the right field wall for a 2-run home run, taking the air out of the KC crowd right away. Bottom half of the inning now, Royals DH Billy Butler ropes a line drive to left field off of Lester to cut the lead in half. Jumping ahead to the bottom of the 3rd inning with a runner on third base, Lorenzo Cain does his best Billy Butler impersonation and ropes a line drive double to score a runner from third base. Much to the delight of Royals bench and James Shields himself. Next batter up is Eric Hosmer, and he bloops a fly ball off the end of his bat, just landing in front of A's left fielder Sam Fold, giving the Royals a 3-2 lead. Top of the 6th, there's that man again, Moss, deep over the center field wall and gone. There it is. A's take their lead back, 5-3. Shields not very happy about that one there. Later in the inning, Derek Norris in there replacing Giovanni Soto due to an injury. He gets an RBI single, extending their lead to 6-3. Later in the inning, Norris is on second base here. Coco Crisp hits a line drive to center field, scoring Norris from second. And now Kansas City feeling it right now, down by 4. 8th inning, Lester still on the mound. Cain again, hard ground ball past Lester. Now they cut the lead to 7-4. That takes Lester out of the game. Luke Gregerson now in. He's facing Butler. Butler lines the ball out into the right field gap. Scores Cain from second. Royals are coming back 7-5 now. Alex Gordon now up with a runner on third. Gregerson decides he wants to bounce this pitch and Norris can't handle it. Hosmer scores sliding head first. 1-run game in the 8th inning. 9th inning now, possibly the play of the game here. Gerard Dyson steals third, barely beating the tag of Josh Donaldson over there. He's at third with 1 out. This leads to a Nori Aoki. You can see Dyson dancing over there at third base, happy about that. This leads to Nori Aoki flying all the way to right field, deep enough for the sacrifice fly, tying the game up at 7, sending it into extra innings. Nobody would score in the 10th or the 11th. Into the 12th, Alberto Callaspo will come up for the A's after a lot of celebration in the 9th. Here's Callaspo. He lines a shot into left field, scoring a runner from third. Again, taking the wind out of the crowd at Kansas City, but it's not over yet. After an Eric Hosmer triple, Christian Colon, he bounces a chopper, and Josh Donaldson can't handle the bouncing play. Now it's Salvador Perez with the runner on second base. He hits a hard line drive just past Josh Donaldson. That's going to be our play of the day. Royals get the walk-off. They celebrate in Kansas City, much to the disbelief of Hall of Famer George Brett there. The Royals get their first victory in 29 years, like I said, and the Royals will advance to face the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in the divisional round. A very entertaining beginning to the MLB playoffs, and hopefully the rest of the playoffs will deliver in a similar way. Other news and notes locally in sports, NIU football returns to their home field this Saturday to begin conference play against the Kent State Golden Flashes. But before that, the women's volleyball team will face Western Michigan at home tomorrow night. That's all for me here with sports. We'll have more for you next week.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
There are professional chefs, writers, and even professional anchors, but would you ever think about professional kite flyers?
Well, NTC reporter Dan Kenny tells us more about a man who takes his love of kites to a whole new height.
Again, welcome to Kite.
With nothing but kites in the sky, people gaze at the brilliance in their horizon. But who are the ones that orchestrate these magnificent contraptions? Meet Chris, who has been retired from the Postal Service for the past 8 years. Now Chris eats, breathes, and sleeps kite flying. He has invested thousands of dollars throughout his lifetime on kites.
I try to buy me a new kite every year on my birthday. And the kites are like about $300 a piece.
That may be so for Chris and the other professionals, but not your average kite flyer. All you need is some string and some well-shaped plastic, and you can take flight. Kite flying is more than just an activity. It can bring people and families closer together.
To fly kites.
What's your favorite kite so far?
Diego.
Diego. Which one's Diego?
He's right here.
Seeing kids partake in kite flying is really the cherry on top for the professionals. Interacting and teaching is what Chris truly enjoys the most about kite flying.
So the first little boy steps up, I give him the handles. He lasts about 12 seconds. The kite crashes, he hands me back my handles, he runs to the back of the line. They rotated for 2 hours on me. Finally, I said, did everybody have fun? They said, yeah. I said, it's my turn.
Even though Kite Fest is concluded, fall is still prime kite flying weather. Cast your kite and go wherever the wind takes you. I'm Dan Kenny, reporting for NTC News.
Who would think something that seems so peaceful could really be so exciting?
Exactly. The combination of something relaxing and fun sounds like my kind of sport.
NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University. We want to thank you all for being with us.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back this time next week. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye, everyone.